morning, everyone, and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Surprise, surprise. I'm here for the next couple days as Dave takes a much deserved vacation, and I get to be here. It's been a while. And for those that are new or don't know who I am, my name is Joanne. I am the director of marketing here at Legendary Marketer. And I always fill in whenever Dave is on vacation, sick, that sort of thing. And if you are a Blueprints member, you know a little bit more and engage a little bit more with me through Decade in a Day in our Facebook group and all of that good stuff as well. So I am pumped to be here. I'm so excited. We have a phenomenal guest who is absolutely killing it on Instagram. So we are going to dive into all things Instagram. I peeked at her account. We do have our guests give a little questionnaire. So we have a little bit of information about them. And on the questionnaire, she said she grew her account to 50,000 followers. Well, I just took a look and she's at 70. So this girl is on fire. She is currently sitting at 70,000 followers. So she's nothing but growing continuously, which I love. And before I bring her on, if you are new and would like to get a text message of when we go live, Monday through Friday, you can text the letters WUL to 813-296-8553. Through that text message service, no other texts go out except when we go live for Wake Up Legendary. That's the only text is right within a few minutes of going live. Sometimes it's a little longer than a few, maybe 5. You will get a text with a direct link right back to Facebook to our live show and a little description about it. So text the letters WUL to 813-296-8553 and never miss an episode. All right, without further ado, please welcome Erica to the show. Good morning, Erica.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm in Nevada. We're on a snow day. We had over a foot of snow in about an hour overnight last night. So we're keeping warm, but I know you're in Arizona. Is that correct?
I'm in Arizona. Yes, it's usually pretty hot here, around the 115 degrees, but right now it's pretty cold. It's like around 50 degrees. It was about 45 this morning and I was freezing. That's why I'm bundled up right now.
I know you're all bundled, and
Yeah,
I was like, are we chilly or is the heat broken? Where are we at right now?
chilly. Yeah.
Yeah, that is cold for that neck of the woods for sure.
hmm
So share with us a little bit of your story, or as much of your story as you want. What were you looking for when you found Legendary? What was going on?
Well, so to give you a little bit of the backstory, I come from a broken home. So I watched my mom pretty much struggle her whole life just to feed me and my brothers when we were young. She worked about 3 jobs at a time just to put food on the table. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a struggle. And then she would always tell me, let's show your dad that we don't need him. Let's make me proud. Go to school, get a degree, get a good job. And so I did. I did everything by the book.
Right.
I landed my dream job, and I was just getting worn out at the time
Yeah.
because I was working long hours from like 8 a.m. to literally 9 p.m. and I wasn't really present in my child's life.
Right.
So yeah, I he would have to literally sit and watch TV while I'm sitting here on the computer working all day long. So
Wow. So it's like you were home, but you really weren't home.
exactly. Yeah, he was like in the background just watching TV, and I would have to be working. And so I couldn't really do anything with him and any other things that I wanted to do with him, like take him to the park or just do fun things with him. And he would be bored sometimes. So
Right.
that was kind of my motivation. And I thought I have to do something or something else to bring me an extra income. And my goal at the time was to make like $1,000 a month extra besides
Hmm.
my job now. So I started looking through the internet, and I came across a few moms that were talking about how much money they were making online. only working a few hours a day and they're working from home from their phone. So I obviously called it BS and I rolled my eyes and I watched for about 5 months, which was pretty long, and I wish I started sooner. Then once I got started, I was motivated and I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be consistent. I'm not going to give up, and I'm not going to give up until I get to where I want to be. So I did that, and once you get your first commission, it's a different feeling because then you think this is legit and I can actually make a living out of this, an income. So
Right,
yeah.
right. All right, there's a lot there, but first and foremost, because we mentioned money, I do need to put this out there. There is never a guarantee of money. There's
Mhm.
no guarantee of an amount. Most people that buy our education actually don't even do anything with it. But it really comes back down to deciding for yourself you're ready to learn the skills. You're ready to take action in a new direction with your life for a variety of reasons. And it sounds like your why is a huge one. It's your son who's 5, and even though you were sitting in the same house under the same roof as him, you were still missing life,
Oh yeah,
and you
definitely.
needed to make that change.
Yeah.
um, and that's a huge why. That's a huge motivation to decide I'm ready to go on a new journey.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
ready to open new doors in my life, even though you stepped through all the doors you thought you were supposed to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did everything by the book and I made my mom proud like she wanted me to. But yeah, um, till this day, my son is he's my core why. And then my mom as well, because she worked her butt off to
Right,
take care of all of us. And I want to be able to give back to her. So,
right,
one of the main reasons, yeah.
for sure. What do you for There's a lot of people that go through that really think like change is bad.
Oh, it's really,
And it's really like it's and when you are checking the boxes, like I'm doing everything they told me to do, that my
mhm.
parents told me to do, that school told me to do, that society, so that I'm like a nice member of the society and I've got my 9 to 5 and I've got this. Um, and it's just not enough, or it's just not right, or it doesn't feel right. What do you say to that person that it's okay to make an adjustment outside of society norm?
Yeah, you have to. If you want to make a change in your life, you have to do something about it and just step out of your comfort zone. And then just, if you don't be afraid to fail, because failure brings you to success. So I would always say, I always tell people that I know, if you're not happy with what you're doing, do something about it and look for other things and look for your passions and then try to make money out of that. Like find something to do and just don't be afraid to step out and do the thing.
Right, definitely. And oh, I mean, it takes strength, and people don't realize that. I mean, that's an example of you are a strong, amazing human and mom, and what an example for your son,
Thank you.
that
Thank you.
you go after it, and it's okay. And it's okay to make adjustments and make pivots, and it's okay to add to to bring in more fulfillment to your life.
Yeah, and before this, I tried a bunch of other things that I failed at, but that didn't stop me. I did watch for a while before I decided to dive in, but when I did,
Mhm.
I told myself, all right, you can't fail at this too. So you have to keep going until you get to where you want to be and don't give up, stay consistent. You just gotta, I think it's all in the mind. You just gotta change that mindset and be open minded instead of closed minded and
Man,
stay
mindset
connected.
is such the key,
Yeah.
and it's something that a lot of people don't like to face because it feels uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
feels like, oh, wait, I got to look at myself. I can't look at everybody else. I can't put it out there in the world and blame my boss or blame that person or say it's that person. I got to look at this is making me look back at the mirror of what I'm responsible for. You know, that's hard. What comes up for you when I say that?
That it's just mind blowing. Like when people are just afraid to look at themselves. Like when, for example, when I started, I was terrified to start making a reel or look at myself on camera because
Mhm.
I've never been really big on social media, but and I've never made a reel before. And when I started learning how to do that, I recorded myself a bunch of times, and I thought, what am I doing? I look dumb. Like it's let's erase it and let's do another one. And you just gotta practice until you get comfortable with yourself. And you gotta do affirmations. You gotta talk to yourself because no one else is gonna hype you up. You gotta hype yourself up, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's dive into Instagram. You just admitted you've never made a reel. You started your account with 0 followers. Can I say that's correct information?
Yes,
So
definitely.
in July is when you launched, July 2023.
Hmm.
You started a brand new account, just like most people do, with their brand new digital marketing business that they're launching after learning, going through the challenge, making some decisions that they want to continue on this journey as they're learning more skills. So you had the day one, you had the 0 followers. Nothing was like already there. There's always that, oh, they have that many followers because they already had the account. It, that's not the case, correct?
No, no, no. I started from zero, just like everyone else, and that's a good thing because that helps the algorithm. If you use your old account, it might not, grow as fast. And then also for me, I wanted to start from zero because I didn't want my family and friends to find me. So the first thing I did, I blocked everyone that I
Mhm.
thought possible that I didn't want to find me. So, and then just because, most people are negative and then they just want to bring you down from what you're doing. And so
Right.
I didn't want that to deter me from my goals. So I just blocked.
I am a full believer of that. I say that in Decade in a Day. If you don't, or if you have that little voice of someone of a worry that is
Mhm.
going to stop you from taking action, just block them. It doesn't mean you don't like them. It doesn't mean you don't love them in real life. You just don't need them a part of this little thing that you're doing. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I love that advice. And I think everyone should take it. If you're using that as a reason to not launch or a reason to not post that first video, you need to take that off the table and block people and then post.
Yeah. And even now I look back at my first reels and I think, wow, those look really bad. And I still don't think that my reels look good now, but you just gotta put it out there and there's someone that's gonna like what you're putting out there and you just gotta stop being too hard on yourself and just think I'm here to help other people. So just put it
Yeah.
out there.
Okay. So walk us through day one. You got to make that first reel. What
Oh,
was that process like for you? Like, what did it take you days? Did you redo it a whole bunch of times? Walk us through that. Okay, I got to actually make a video and then I got to post it. Walk us through that moment.
yeah. So I was, like I said, I was terrified and I created my Instagram and did the profile picture, the bio, and all of that stuff. And it took me, I don't know, maybe a week or so before I posted my first reel because I was trying to put it off. And I thought, okay, Erica, if you just created this Instagram, you got to make a reel and just put it out there. And I started recording myself and I deleted it a bunch of times until I finally found the one that I kind of liked and I posted that one. But then the thing that I tell people now is that you don't really have to reinvent the wheel. And I used to stress a lot about what I was going to post. You just got to say, look at the bigger, higher affiliates and then just kind of twist what they're doing, like make it your own. Don't copy them, but just do something similar because that's what people are already looking at right now and that's what they want to see. And so that's how you kind of start growing your Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. Were you nervous? Did
I
you have
was I was so nervous. I was so nervous to post that first reel. But
But
after,
we put a lot of like stock in the
yeah,
first reel, right? Like the president's gonna see it, like it's
yeah,
gonna end up on Channel 4 News that night, and it's just not.
yeah.
Is the reality.
Mhm.
Because it's not gonna be your only video. It's gonna be one of many, one of hundreds, one of thousands. And within a week, there's gonna ideally there should be a whole collection and that's just it's just one,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. This is so great. Okay, so give us. I have a little puppy that is crying behind me who normally sleeps. So I'm going to have somebody come grab him. So I apologize if you all can hear him.
This is why I took my son to school early today. I wanted your full attention.
So share with all of us, how do you plan your week? You're still in your job, correct?
Yep,
So
I'm
you have
still.
all of that those responsibilities. You're
Mhm.
showing up to your social media, you're building your online business, you're a mom. What's your schedule look like? How are we juggling all of this?
It's crazy. So I do this like in the cracks of life. So I just, if I'm working on my corporate job stuff, and then if I get a break here and there, like I don't have to send emails or I don't have to be on meetings or anything like that, then I just work on my Instagram. Like I tend to batch create my reels. That way I can just post them and not worry about creating a whole reel when I'm working. But it is a lot of work. I don't even know how I do it myself. I just always think, how am I doing all this? But you
Right.
just gotta, stay consistent and keep posting. I post twice a day, and that's all I can do right now. So that's what I've been doing from the start. So that's what works for me, and that's what I stick to.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be five a day. Yes, there are some out in the world that are like, I did five a day for 6 months. But
Yeah,
even if your schedule allows for one a day, if as long as you keep doing one a day, like
yeah.
I think consistency and value, quality is better than quantity. Would you agree with that? What are your thoughts when you hear that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. You wanna put out your content, but also you want to give value to the viewers. So just make sure that it's something that you're hitting on, like their pain points or things that people are already looking for
Mhm.
at the moment. So don't just BS it and just make a reel just to put it out there. Sometimes you do, like on camera, have to just kind of like B-roll something or just videotape something, but just make sure that your captions, it's something valuable that your viewers are looking for.
Right? There's got to be some information. I think what
Mhm.
I've seen, even in our community, when people are asking for advice or help on our support calls, it's like they have the pieces, but they actually don't have the value, but they think they have the value, but then there is no value. The value cannot be go click my link in bio or grab my ebook. That's a call to action.
Yeah,
There has to be substance, a quick win, a quick shot of information, of edutainment, something. Value can also be, making somebody laugh, making someone relate to you. There's a lot of ways to provide value. Um, what do you say to someone that is like, what do you mean I don't just say click my link in bio? Because I know you don't. You have a ton of value in your videos and your captions and all of that. What's your advice to somebody that is stuck in that hole and can't quite see out of it? What's
so
value to you? How about that?
so I just try to think of what I was looking for when I was scrolling through Instagram, but I try to give them like a little glimpse of what I'm talking about, like little hooks on my actual reel. And then let's say if I say like these are 10 ways that you can make money online, I'll give them maybe five, and then I'll put the rest in the caption. That way they have to read my caption and then see the call to action. And then also just sometimes put your comment, this word, in
Mhm.
your reel instead of in your caption. And there's, the short span right now, you have to put everything, like, you have to spell it out for them. So sometimes you have to like put everything in the beginning of the caption, like
Mhm.
make sure you save this and send it
Right.
to someone you think it's going to be helpful to, and put your comment, this word in the beginning, and then put the rest in the caption. So just kind of thinking and doing your research. What are people looking for right now? SEO is big. So
Yeah. What
still,
are people searching? And one of the best growth call to actions is save this for later and send it to a friend who needs to hear it.
mhm,
Those are huge right now for growing accounts. And that's what we got to do. We can't make recommendations to an empty room or an empty social media following. It's the same thing. We've
yeah,
got to bring them in first, and nobody's going to follow account that's like a door-to-door salesman.
yeah. Don't be salty every time you post
Yeah,
also.
you look
Yeah.
thirsty.
Mhm.
And if there's and then there's no value there and they're like, I don't why am I following this person just to buy something from them? I don't want to follow them. That's no fun.
Yeah.
Right? Think about, I think what I invite everyone that's on and watching this right now, think about why you follow someone.
Hmm.
It's not because they were trying to sell you something, it's because they made you feel a certain way, they gave you information, you related to them on some type of level with their story, with something that they shared that day. And then that's what we need to model. Not model, like not copy, but model how do I make someone else feel that way for my own audience, my own niche,
Hmm.
and my social media. What else would you add to that when you are talking about finding your ideal audience online?
Um, like I said, like for you just have to look at your own personality and see, like, everyone has their own persona, and everyone is gonna love you for who you are. Just be yourself and
Yeah.
just stay true to it and just stay consistent, and you're gonna see results.
Yeah, because nobody else out there is you.
Yeah,
So you gotta stop trying to be someone else online and copying their content
and
and
stop
just
comparing to
be,
them.
yeah, be your amazing, weird, phenomenal self and don't be afraid to show that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. I love this. I love this conversation. So I want to backtrack just a little bit because I think it's important for anyone that's creating content. When people are starting out, they forget where they once were,
Hmm.
right? And why do you think it took you 5 months of watching videos before you even purchased the challenge?
The main reason I think,
Your limiting belief there.
well, I tried a bunch of other things before that, and then I thought, like, oh, here goes another thing that I'm gonna probably fail at too. But I thought, like, hey, like, this is $7, so what do I have to lose, right? I go to Starbucks almost every morning because my son loves it. He loves the cake pops there.
Nice.
So, all right, today I'm not gonna go to Starbucks, or just it wasn't like a big thing. It was just like belief. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was real, and I kept watching them, and then as I watched, they kept growing and growing. So I thought, if I would have started earlier when I first started watching them, then I would have been way farther, by now. But you live and learn, and should have, could have.
Right? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I think that's also part of our story. And
Yeah.
that's great content to share that you can relate to other people. Like, I understand waiting. I understand having fear. I understand feeling stuck. Like, what if I fail again? And I think that's what's really has to be embraced is failure's normal. It's
Mm-hmm.
not it's it's not who we are. It's just something that happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard thing for people to grasp. For some reason, failure becomes like a personality trait. I'm a failure. You're not a failure. You just had a moment of failing that you've learned from, you've grown from, that you got a lesson from, and you've grown, you became a different person from afterwards.
Yeah.
So what did you, I believe it's drop shipping that you tried before. Is that correct?
I tried everything that you can think of.
Okay, so tell me what we've tried and why you didn't like it.
So I tried drop shipping like Amazon FBA, and I didn't like that because you have to do the whole shipping inventory and all of that stuff. So it's a lot of hard work, and you have to keep reinvesting your own money to get more money. So it was kind of a hassle. And then I tried Herbalife, Monet, selling insurances, and I just for some reason kind of stumbled across those things throughout my life. So
Right.
there was a friend that was doing one of those, and I always said, "All right, let's try it. Let's try it." And
Right.
they were all MLMs, which should be illegal, but you know, failed them all.
There's good and bad. There's good and bad. That's all I'll say with the MLS for sure. No judgment, but it's to me trying those things, even trying an MLM for the first time, it's just a way of realizing you're looking for something more. You're looking for a change, and it's okay to figure out what that is
Yeah.
and to figure that out. There and so it's kind of like when your kid is like, I'm going to be this when I grow up. And it's like, well, you don't have to be that. That doesn't, like, when you're 10, it doesn't, you
Hmm.
don't have to decide your life. Let's try different things. Let's try different activities and sports and interests and explore them. And you're going to learn more about yourself through that process. You're going to learn more about what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah.
And I think all of those experiences got you to where you are now in your mindset, in what you're capable of also,
Yeah.
and really making it your own, which is cool.
Yeah. It's exciting because I never really thought like my mindset was always like I can never be like these, influencers. I'm not an influencer, but having all these followers or having people um, be excited and be wanting to see what you have to put out there. So now, when I look at my Instagram, I'm like, wow, I can't even, I still can't believe that I'm at 70K right now. How
You
did I
guys
get
fill a stadium. Your followers fill a stadium. Think about that. You're like an NFL stadium, right? That are
there? It's pretty
all
cool.
Erica's followers, which is amazing. So
Yeah.
let's talk about our followers, our moments. Did you have, we always like to call it the valley of despair, that moment where you're pumping out content, but nobody's really watching it yet?
Uh, I was heartbroken. Yeah, in
Which
the
is, guys,
beginning.
that's normal in
Yeah.
the process.
Hmm.
And that's where people quit. But imagine if you keep growing and being committed to your business and to your audience and the niche that you want to grow your business in.
Hmm.
So talk to us about how you felt when you're in the valley of despair of putting the work in, but nobody's talking, nobody's watching, nobody's commenting. How did you get through that?
Yeah, I was pretty obsessed with just refreshing my page and then just keep looking at the views, and I would think, why aren't I getting any views? Why isn't my content being shown to other people? What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And I just, that's just how it works. Everyone that starts from zero is going to start from zero views and zero followers. So you just have to keep going as long as you're consistent, and then keep posting the same times that you post, or like the same amount of times a day that you're posting. Stay consistent, you're going to get there. Don't give up when things get hard. Just keep going, it's going to happen. You just have to stay consistent.
Right. So let's talk a little bit more about it because I already see someone, I've been in the valley for 11 months. I've been in the valley of despair. So I think it's important. And this
Mhm.
is another thing. It's like mindset. You got to look back at yourself. you got to look back at your content with marketing eyes, with a consumer eye,
Hmm.
and make adjustments. How did you look back at your content and go, okay, I need to change this and tweak that without like beating yourself up and being a bully?
You also have to look at like the insights and all that, see what worked and what didn't work, and then just kind of replicate that and recreate it in a slightly different way. And then that's going to help you grow more. And then, like I said, also look at other people that are in your same niche, and then just look at what they're doing, see what's going viral, what are people looking at that time that that you can kind of model. So look at those pages and then get inspo from that, and then just kind of make it your own, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of what's fun about creating content is let those creative juices flow
Yeah.
and then release the attachment to it. Like be creative in the process and have fun with your content. Make sure you got some energy, right? Try new things, pop in a trending sound, look at what's, try be different but
Yeah.
consistently showing up.
Yeah.
Um, and then taking a moment to go, okay, I'm going to be analytical now. I'm going to look back at the last 2 weeks of content. What performed? What got more views? Why do we think that got more views over this other one that got like no views? How can I replicate that
Hmm.
again and see if I get more views again? Would you agree with that process of like you've got to go from a creative mode to that analytical mode of looking
Yeah.
back at your content and seeing what's converting because it's going to be different for every person,
Yeah. 100% agree. Yeah.
which is it's hard to look back at you. Did you have trouble looking back at your own content at first? Like, was it like, oh my gosh, it's so cringy, or all of it's bad? It's just all bad. Did you go through that mode? Or you got
Oh
to get
yeah.
the emotional piece out of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And there were times that I kind of wanted to erase some of them, but I thought, no, that way people can see when I started, and then people can see how I started, and that can give them motivation. Like, wow, all her videos in the beginning, like, weren't that great, but now she's kind of getting the hang of it, and now she's where she's at.
Yeah, and probably most people, if they were to scroll all the way back to your beginning on your account, they'd be like, oh, these are great videos. Just you're hard on yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. I am very hard on myself.
You notice the change that you've made, but most people don't necessarily, so to speak. They might a little, but for the most part, we're our biggest. We're the hardest one out there on ourselves is us. We're our biggest troll online for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
So with that amount of growth, that number of followers, I know you've got to be dealing with some trolls and negative comments.
Oh
So
yeah.
how did you your first like nasty comment, how did that hit you? How did you handle it and move forward?
Well, I was kind of happy to get that in the beginning. Now it just kind of bothers me. Like, what? What do you mean you don't think this is true? But and then the first nasty comment that I got, I was like, oh, this could be another reel. Like, I could reply to this person in that reel and just make it another reel. And like, well, if I got a nasty comment, maybe I made it.
Right.
So, but now I'm just like, hey, like, I just try to ignore it now, because sometimes I get a little pissed off and I'm like, hey, why don't you think that this is true? Like, what else can I do to make you believe?
Right. Yeah, I've seen M Walcott does that a lot when she gets like a nasty comment, like they're commenting like if her house is dirty or something in the background. And she throw up, she's like, oh, we got a reel.
Yeah.
That's because my house is, I have, multiple kids and we're homeschooling and this is real life, people. And it's kind of
Yeah.
like just calling it out. It's just showing still human. I'm an everyday person just like you.
Yeah.
You suddenly don't put on like ball gowns at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday and like have this.
Yeah, and a lot of people, yeah, a lot of people think like, oh, like if you're making this much money, then why aren't you living in a mansion, or why are you still like lounging around like in sweats, or stuff like that. It's like, hey, everyone has their own persona, everyone has their own like life. So there's people that love luxury, they're gonna buy all that luxury stuff, and there's people that just want to live life and be have more time, so they don't care about that stuff. So
Some people
yeah,
just want a savings account.
exactly.
And that means you're not upgrading to some crazy home that you now have to take care of when you have 3 young kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of different reasons that, and I, when I see people, other marketers get comments like that, I, I, I kind of embrace the troll to educate about whatever the product and niche that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Because there always is going to be a troll. It doesn't matter. There's going to be somebody that is living in a negative mindset. There's somebody that just tries to make them feel better by putting someone else down, whether that's in person or in real life.
Yeah.
The person that's mean to the checkout person at the grocery store because they had a bad day is the person that's also the keyboard warrior that's just spitting off crap online as well. It's the same person.
Yeah.
And it's more of a reflection of them than a reflection of any of you. And don't let it kill your vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Don't let it get to you. I mean, that's why those people are where they are. Like, it's just they have to change their mindset to get to, wherever those people that they're commenting on are.
Yeah. And you just gotta just keep rolling. That's where
Mhm.
you put your blinders on, stay consistent. And if somebody keeps showing up that's negative in your comments, you're noticing it's affecting your behavior towards your business. It's changing your focus. It's changing like, oh, I don't want to post today. Block them.
Oh
The
yeah.
block button it's like 2 clicks, guys. Just
Hmm.
block them and get them out of your world. It's super simple. Nobody gets to decide whether you keep showing up online.
Hmm. I'm very generous with the blocking button.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. And it helps keep your comments a happy place of the
Hmm.
community you want to build, which makes it safer for people to feel safer commenting when it's not full of negative troll or bot type posts like, hey, come follow blah, blah, blah for this amazing crypto opportunity,
Yeah.
42 times. Just block them and be done with it.
Hmm.
There's a lot of trust that has to be built between you and a follower, you and the platform, that you're not a spammer yourself. So get rid of the spammy comments, uh,
Hmm.
because even the platform itself could think, oh, this could be an actual spam account because they're allowing spam comments. That's something else to think about, is growing that trust that way. So
Yeah.
are you into using stories and all of that?
Well, I feel like I need to get better at stories right now. I am
Okay.
more into like just, posting the reels and then getting back to my DMs and all of that stuff. But I definitely need to get better at my stories just because I'm still working my 9 to 5. So sometimes I get a little busy. But
Mm,
I try to be there as much as I can.
yeah.
Yeah,
Which, guys, are we listening to the true nuggets that Erica's sharing? It's a work in progress.
really
There's not
is.
a perfect formula of growth of this is what I can do and I'm okay with that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm able to do each day. And that's going to be different for each person. And that's good. That's okay. That's how you stay consistent, is when you control the overwhelm. I love Erica for basically saying, I'm working on it. I'm getting there. I can't always do it. So you're not sitting there attacking yourself like, I didn't hit 10 stories today. I have failed, Instead being like, I had 3, or, I had stories today, but
Yeah.
I had 7 the day before. That's okay. Allow yourself grace.
Hmm.
What do you say to someone that's just beating themselves up right now in the comments? How do you allow yourself this grace of everything's fine? I'm doing good.
Yeah. I mean, I, like you said, I couldn't believe that I got to 70K, and that's like good for me. That's like more than what my expectations were when I
Mhm.
first started. I didn't think I was going to like get to where I am now. There's a lot more people that have a lot more followers, but I'm happy where I'm at. So, and
Mhm.
then also just, it's a work in progress. So, me working my 9 to 5 and then still being here, I would just say, just stop beating yourself up. You can only do as much as you can do. Whatever you can do is fine. People are gonna love you for that. So, like I said, just be yourself. Just, yeah.
Yeah, it really all comes back down to it's just the answer nobody wants to hear because nobody likes to be themselves, right? It goes back to that whether it's mindset, creating content, showing up consistently, and allowing yourself grace.
Hmm.
It all comes back to you,
Exactly. Yeah.
and that's a hard pill to swallow because we don't want to have to go back to us. And
Hmm.
really, that's who's responsible. That's who's got to learn how to do this. That's who's got to put in the work with how to do
Yeah.
online marketing. Um, but man, it's so cool once you learn it.
Yeah.
I love online marketing.
Yeah, and I would just say, like, if you're just feeling down, or, you're, because you just have to kind of affirm yourself, like do affirmations, and then just hype yourself up every morning. Do it. Put a sticky note on your mirror, bathroom mirror, every time you're brushing your teeth. Just read it out to yourself, and that's going to help you through the day. At least that
Yeah,
helps me.
I think that's amazing advice, and I everyone should have some type of self care
Hmm.
of being your own cheerleader.
Yeah, you have to be sometimes. Yeah.
I'm worthy. I'm capable.
Yep.
I deserving,
Hmm.
and what I can get done today will be amazing,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Jay says, embrace the small wins all day long. Nicole says,
Yes.
look at my vision board at least 5 minutes a day. I love that.
Love
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. The reality and the hard truth is we're responsible for the journey we end up on.
Hmm.
We're responsible for how much work we put into that because it does take work, guys. There's no getting around having to learn how to do it.
Yep.
No one can push a button and all of the information is magically in your head. And I that's what's realistic. But you're capable of learning it.
Hmm.
And that's what I hope everyone that's watching this realize. It doesn't matter if you're 20 or 95. You're capable of learning and applying. It may be at different paces, different levels, but you're capable. And that's what's cool. So I know we are only sharing Instagram. Are you trying other social media platforms? Is that on the vision board for the future or not just yet? Is that just like hit the overwhelm button for you?
Maybe it will be in the future. Maybe TikTok. I
Mhm.
was on TikTok. So when I started both Instagram and TikTok. But there's a lot of trolls on TikTok. So I was like, there's not a lot of nice people on here. So I'm just gonna stick to Instagram because that's
Yeah,
what's working for me. So I just stuck to that, and I still have my TikTok, but I haven't posted on there in
right.
so long. So I stick to Instagram.
Okay. I really appreciate you sharing that. And I think everyone needs to realize that. And we had Kelly Roberts last week on, I mentioned it, who was like, I love TikTok. And I tried to go all in on Instagram and she started ignoring her TikTok. She's like, but my platform and where my people are and where I do well is TikTok. And then we have other people that are like, Facebook is my platform. I
Mm-hmm.
do all great things on Facebook. And it's about finding, I think in the beginning is posting on different ones and just finding which one just kind of clicks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when you're ready, and if you decide, because it's your own business, you might go back, but you
Mm-hmm.
might never. And that's okay too.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. There's no rules because it's your own damn business, guys. It's your
Yeah.
own choices. No one else is telling you what you have to do, and that's really hard for people in our education because they're like, where are the check boxes?
Mm-hmm.
I need the check boxes. And it's like, we're not going to give you the check boxes because it shouldn't be cookie cutter 100%. You've got to make decisions that work best for you, where you want to take your business, what you want to do with it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what's so cool about really being the CEO of your own business, and what's also really scary.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. What what's your before we wrap this up today, what's your piece of advice for somebody that's just in the start of the challenge? They're in this state of overwhelm. um, what's your advice for them?
I would just say just keep going. Like do your research. If you can't find your answers, then ask someone. That's we're all here to help you succeed. So if you have any questions, if you're stuck on something, then what I did was if I was stuck on something, then I would just Google it or YouTube it.
Mhm.
But for myself, I got the blueprints and that has everything in there. So I didn't really have to do all that. So that was like a huge thing that helped me. So I would just say, just keep going and stay consistent and don't give up because if you give up when things get hard, then you're not going to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of lessons in doing things hard that are hard,
Yeah.
right? And they get easier. But then there's going to be a new hard and a new. There's never a day where it just is easy in
Yeah.
life. That's just what life is,
Yeah.
right?
It's
But it
definitely
can
going to
be
get hard.
fun to figure out the hard stuff. Like we got to
Mhm.
just change our mindset around it, around
Yeah.
learning new skills, around trying different things.
Hmm.
Hard can like let's not think of hard as like, oh, it can be like, this is hard, let's figure it out, let's go after it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
A new challenge is what I like to call it. A new challenge.
Yeah. It's all in the mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
Powerful. Yeah.
All right. Well, you definitely need to come back, Erica. I would love for you to meet Dave as well. Um, and thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your transparency today. Thank you for sharing all of these fantastic golden nuggets. Definitely go back through the comments after this interview and see all the love that people are giving
Love
you.
you guys.
And it's just been a fantastic interview. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a
Yeah,
blast.
definitely. All right, everyone, please go follow Erica on Instagram at passive income underscore W Erica. And Erica is spelled Erika. So passive income, all connected, underscore W Erika. Go give her a follow. Go comment on some of her stuff that you saw her interview on Wake Up Legendary and all of that. So I saw many comments. Yes, I chopped my hair for 2024. I cut a ton of it off. So we are chopped, fresh, and ready. And I will be back tomorrow with another guest and with all of you. So, as always, stay legendary. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.